an early dismissal on the first day.
I was looking forward to a full day.
After dangerously hot conditions affect schools. Caught with radar.
It is extremely dangerous and irresponsible.
A driver going well beyond the speed limit. And a formal welcome for Panthers.
An important tradition for all of our FIU Panthers.
At the newly renamed FIU Stadium. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Anthony Cruz.
I'm Valentina Gaspari. Today is Tuesday, August 27th, 2024.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
Summer's record high heat indexes have extended to the start of school. Classes in Detroit ended early as a result of this. Temperatures topped 90 degrees yesterday with heat indexes hovering around 100.
As WXYZ's Peter Maxwell reports, not all schools have proper accommodations like air conditioning to deal with it.
It doesn't make any sense to me, but the way school is set up now, it's not like it was back in the older days.
They knew the weather was going to be rather hot, and they know they don't have accommodations in a school to where they're providing AC or air conditioning.
All the kids want to come to get an education, but we can't because of the weather.
Right.
It would have been better if school started back after the holiday.
Parents in the Detroit Public School Community District are voicing their concerns over having early dismissals for the first 2 days of the school year because of the heat. While I was outside of Bethune Fitzgerald Elementary and Middle School, the PA came on with a message for students and parents waiting outside to pick their children up.
At 7:35 for the first class to go outside for dismissal, and for 6 to 8 was dismissed at 7:40.
I know this was a big problem last year. The kids were complaining about they were so hot. They come home, shirts drenched in sweat.
Yeah, they could have planned it better, and they need to put better air conditioning in these schools.
Not the way you want to start off the school year, but we can't control the weather.
Detroit Public Schools Superintendent Nikolai Vitti says this school district is working on making sure that all schools have air conditioning in the coming years. Right now, only half of the schools have working air.
Start this year, about 50% have air conditioning. In the next 5 years, all but 10 will have air conditioning. So just excited to make this investment.
We were really excited about the first day in which she was, and we dropped her off. But I kind of wanted her to get the full feel of high school today, and they kind of had compact classes.
And for the students at Cass Tech, they were disappointed. And some people I talked to today told me they should have just delayed the first day of school until Wednesday.
I was kind of like, maybe we should start school a little later instead of doing it now, because I was looking forward to a full day.
We have air conditioning at our school, so I feel like they could have just let us go the full 8 hours.
I can't get all the joy, but I'll get it on Wednesday.
That was WXYZ's Peter Maxwell reporting. With no immediate break in the heat, students will be dismissed early again today.
Following this morning, cybersecurity experts are working to get all flight systems back online at the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport after a weekend disaster hit. CNN's Laura Geary has more on these attacks as the busy Labor Day holiday nears.
Very, very, very busy. The line has been constant.
Frustratingly long lines and baggage backups after a suspected weekend cyber attack spilled into the work week at Washington's Seattle-Tacoma International Airport.
This has impacted internet access to some of the airport systems, including our ability to send and receive data, including email.
Computer systems were disrupted Saturday morning at the Port of Seattle, which operates the airport. Many passengers looking for flight information on the SEA website were greeted by an error message Monday. Officials are reassuring travelers that key safety measures are online.
The airport security systems remain intact. All screening measures remain in place.
Still on the minds of many air travelers, last month's CrowdStrike meltdown. Their glitchy software update hobbled companies worldwide, including several U.S. air carriers.
Airports are big prizes for hackers.
Security experts warn these increasing attacks could be test runs.
I think this is probably motivated by people trying to figure out whether they can attack our critical infrastructure.
That's concerning at any time, but even more so during record summer travel. The TSA expects Labor Day crowds to beat last year's numbers by more than 8%.
The danger right now is that we move on and we forget about this after everything's recovered.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Apple has announced the date for the iPhone 16 launch. At 10 a.m. on September 9th, the company will publicly reveal all of the phone's key features. It's glow time is the tagline that refers to the 16's embedded artificial intelligence. It's among the first devices designed with AI in mind.
The FIU football team won't rock the blue and gold at home until next week, and this morning incoming Panthers are still exploring this campus. But yesterday, FIU hosted its annual first night with an extra kick of 305. The inaugural event at the newly renamed Pippel Stadium gave students an introduction to all things FIU, from clubs to sports to student government and more. FIU President Kenneth Jessel opened up the night with a speech, saying this is one of the school's most beloved traditions.
Oh my God, it is so amazing. This is always a very, very special night, an important tradition for all of our FIU Panthers. It's more important for the new students, new faculty and staff, because this is their first introduction to FIU. But even continuing students, our ongoing faculty and staff, they love being here.
Pippel Stadium will make its debut on the gridiron September 7th against Central Michigan.
Recklessness on the road is rising, at least according to Orange County Sheriff John Mina. WFTV's Alexa Lorenzo takes an inside look at this fast-moving trend.
Running radar along the 417 near Colonial.
Southbound 417 approaching Colonial.
An Orange County deputy pulled over this Dodge Charger. His speed?
133 miles an hour. In a 70.
The driver apologized, but the deputy wouldn't have it.
There is absolutely no excuse you could have.
It is extremely dangerous and irresponsible. Anyone doing over 100 miles an hour, that person is not going to survive that crash. The people that they hit are not going to survive that crash, and that's why we need to take it very seriously.
Orange County Sheriff John Mina says he will not tolerate this reckless behavior on our highways. Channel 9 has done several stories on drivers hitting dangerous speeds, so we asked the sheriff.
In your years of law enforcement, do you think driving has gotten worse?
Absolutely. I think we have seen at the Orange County Sheriff's Office an increase in citations of over 100 miles an hour. When I first started, we saw that, but not nearly as much, and it's increased over the past several years specifically.
The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety reviewed data from across the country and found the pandemic's empty roadways allowed speeding drivers to take over. Fast forward, they never slowed down, making that risky driving the new normal. As for this driver, he was shocked by the more than $1,000 ticket.
It's either that or I take you to jail now.
He took the ticket and had a mandatory date with a judge.
Sorry, boss. Slow it down.
That was WFTV's Alexa Lorenzo reporting. State traffic crash fatalities rose 7.3% in 2020 and nearly 11% in 2021.
This week, SpaceX will make history by conducting the first commercial spacewalk. The mission, called Polaris Dawn, will include a 5-day orbit for civilians on board. The crew is set to take off tomorrow from Kennedy Space Center. This will be the first in a series of SpaceX missions testing new technologies aimed to help humans live and work on other planets.
The Marlins down 1 against the Rockies after the 7th inning stretch.
That's still ahead, and so's the story.
I knew I had a job to prove that I was good, and I knew we had to bring back this championship.
The Little League World Series champions are back in the Sunshine State and received a warm welcome home. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
I debate all day. It's what I do. But there are some things that are undebatable, like your mental health. I was in a dark place when my brother passed away in a car accident. I was depressed in ways I never imagined. I reached out, and my sisters came, my pastor, my therapist. They helped me get through it. I found that the more I spoke up, the healthier my mind became. When you love your mind, you can go so much further. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I help our fellows design their paths as creative entrepreneurs. My experiences serving startups, creative businesses, and cultural organizations, and my journey as a queer mixed immigrant with Haitian and Arabic roots, inform the co-creative environment we foster at Radcliffe. We leverage our collective diversity to encourage the building of lifelong personal learning networks and mindsets that stimulate continuous innovation.
The Little Legends from Florida's Little League World Series team are back home this morning with some extra jewelry after they won it all against Chinese Taipei 2 days ago. Florida's youngest champions are back home.
That's right, and after winning the state's first Little League World Series in Pennsylvania, the Florida team had a big welcome home yesterday when they landed in Orlando. The young ball players talked about the championship, and they said they knew what they had to do.
Best feeling ever. I mean, it's like really great. It's a really great accomplishment.
The team will have a victory parade this Saturday in downtown Lake Mary, just north of Orlando. The city has been planning this parade since last week when the team beat Taiwan.
The Marlins, however, are feeling a Rocky Mountain low this morning after a rough start to their 4-game series against the Rockies. In the top of the 5th inning, Jesus Sanchez hit a 2-run single on a line drive to left field. However, that would be the only run for the Fish in the entire game. The Rockies' Ryan McMahon would hit a solo homer in the 6th to secure the game for Colorado. The final score was Marlins 2, Rockies 3. The series will continue tonight, and you're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantore here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
You're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Anthony Cruz.
And I'm Valentina Gaspari. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.